Yeah. People are gonna not like where I place Volcana. That's for sure. But anyways, let's get started. Dwelling. Okay. Dwelling is easy. Actually no, it can be difficult. It depends obviously on the level iteration. I don't normally have a really hard time there. It's pretty easy. You can get screwed over in Pacific runs, but if you're just doing a normal run, trying to get to Tiamat or Hundun, it's not bad. Uh, Especially now since they patched it. So I don't think it's that hard, but that's coming from me. This is my tier list, so I'm gonna rate it like I see it. I'm not gonna try to look at new player perspectives or late game or people with a ton of hours. This is my list. I'm rating it how I see these areas. So jungle is super sweet. Um, oh, this is a difficulty rating. Okay, I mean, it's kind of strange. Difficulty for jungle. I thought the jungle was really hard when I first saw it. It's not that difficult anymore, especially since they made bear traps easier to see, and they even changed foliage, so it can't hide that easy. I'm still gonna give it about a normal. It can trip you up sometimes for sure. This area, I'm gonna give it a hard. Even though the first time I ever saw this area and played through it, I beat it the first time. The randomness of the lava and the Mega Man like knocking you into spikes. Also, imps love to spawn over lava pools. It can be super easy or it could be really hard. Uh, if you step on the exploity boys and they run off into like a lava pool, that could soft lock you. So from getting to the exit or just making it to the next part of the level. So it's a tough area. Um, but it's also super easy. But I'm gonna give it a hard because it can literally soft lock your run, which is kind of crappy. Uh, my gut wants to put this in easy, but I know that it can kill your run essentially. So I'm gonna keep it in hard. Stuff that can end your run, it should be in the hard category. Uh, like in an instant, which I know that there's spikes and not, but this area has a lot that can soft lock you. So, anyways, what is this? Abzu. Abzu's really easy. You don't even have to have the correct like item to kill Kingu. It's pretty easy. It's the same every time. Nothing really else to say. It's really easy to get to too because of Onk skip, or you can just skip the level. I'm gonna give this easy clap for sure. I'm gonna put this in easy because this can be somewhat of a difficult area sometimes. Temple is extremely hard. It's hell, especially in Cosmic. Oh my god, this is loud. Cosmic Temple is your nightmare. Curse, poison, push blocks. Sorceresses have ended my CO runs. Probably in the double digits now. I hate seeing sorceresses in CO on a temple level. It's really bad. City of Gold is pretty much the same thing as temple, although it's really straightforward. And then sometimes you can get a leprechaun, which will spawn a clover, which is super nice, and it makes City Gold pretty easy. I'm gonna give City Gold easy. So fat. What's up, Pepper? Welcome. I see what you mean. City Gold pretty easy. I mean, it's the same layout normally. If it's not, well, I mean, technically it is not the same layout, but for the most part, it kind of is, right? So, uh, it is temple. It does have Krokman. I'm gonna pump it up to normal. It's not that easy, but it's not hard or hellish. It's about mid for me. Ice caves, pretty easy. You could get yeeted by arrow traps, or not arrow traps, but yetis, falling UFOs falling onto yetis, and then destroying your jetpack, because they fly into you. Yeti cave is somewhat difficult if you don't have the right resources. It definitely does have its difficulties, but it's just one level, so it's normally pretty easy. Yeah, the abyss is pretty bad, but if you know the area pretty well, I've only died in the abyss like twice since I started playing. At least I think. I don't die in the abyss. I died in the abyss for Spelunky HT a lot more than I did in Spelunky 2. That's for sure. Because it was more than one level. Neo is hell. One word, or 2 words, I guess. Spark traps. The fact that they activate when you're near them is why they're hard. Because there could be a UFO there. There could be an Olmec, I believe is what they're called. And they'll just yeet right into you and destroy your jetpack. If not destroy your jetpack, they could still end your run pretty handily by knocking you into like a elevator or in the idle like tile set. I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone that will make this list will put Neo in hell. It's pretty bad. Speedrunning in Neo is by far the hardest, for sure. Sunken is not as bad. Usually when I get a Sunken on CO, I'm a little bit relieved, especially if I have Kapala, because it's just free blood sometimes. Because of the grubs. But it's still, is hard. The bubble blocks, I believe is what they're called. Or the crush blocks or something. They can end your run by killing you or the bow. There's poison. It's hard, but it's not hell. Cosmic is hell. I mean, it's the longest area by levels. It's hell for sure. It's definitely not. It's every level on this list. If this isn't hell, what is? Eggplant, there's literally nothing that can hurt you but yourself, which I have died on Eggplant level before because I killed myself. I back whipped a lever which dropped a door and it locked me in a 1x1 tile, and there was nothing I could do other than blow myself up. But that was me. I've never died there ever since, and I've been there like five or 6 times now. So yeah, that video's on YouTube if you want to watch it. It's my first Eggplant ever, like a month and a half ago. But yeah, it was cool. If you have strategy for Olmec Slayer, he's pretty easy. Yeah, he's not a pain anymore. He's actually easier now than he ever was, because back when he would just kind of hover and just launch bombs, there's a little bit of RNG associated with that depending on how much he blew up the bottom, but nowadays you can be pretty strategic with Olmec, and I don't die on him but like maybe once a stream if I'm unlucky. So and my streams are like what, 4.5 hours, 5 hours, so pretty easy. Yeah, it was just sad. It was an offline no mic run though, but the pain is there for sure. Duat, pretty easy. Osiris isn't that big of a deal. He's actually easier if you don't have paste, in my opinion, because you can chuck a bomb right through his hands, unless they patch that. But and if you have paste, it'll stick to his hands and potentially miss, potentially. I haven't tested that, but I feel like that wouldn't work. So having no paste in Duo is actually kind of nice. For killing Osiris. It's kind of similar to Sunken actually, because you have to go up. Really, the only way you're gonna die in this area is if you kind of forget about the snake that kind of runs through the level. Other than that, it's not that big of a deal. The lava, I guess, could be a pain. But every time I've been to Duat, I've had no issue really, other than me killing myself. So, oh wait, this isn't. This is not Abzu. This is Tide Pool. This is Abzu. Tide Pool. It's normal. Well, yeah, it's normal. I'm gonna rearrange these eventually, so. Bear traps. The fish is there, which can be a pain sometimes. The Yangshi or whatever they're called are pretty annoying, especially if you're low on health. It's about as difficult as the jungle, I would say. Tiamat, pretty easy. If you know strategies, she's not a pain at all. Without paste, without bombs, you can just whip her to death if you know how to play her right. So Hundun, Hundun's area. It's the same as Sunken except boss. I haven't died to Hundun in a little bit, other than the death that we just had like 10 minutes ago. But that was just me experimenting. Like if I'm trying to beat Hundun, usually I'm gonna live. If you're just patient, you'll live. I've killed him with True Crown like 6+ times now, maybe 7. And that's with a random teleport. He's not really that difficult. It's about as hard as Sunken. It's like a little bit harder than Sunken, so I'm gonna put it just above. Yeah, that seems fair. This is below. This is above. I don't like Neo. Yeah, I like Simple more than I like Neo, because Neo's harder. Jungle is harder than Tide Pool. Yeah. City Gold is harder than Tide Pool. Yeah, I think I'm okay with this. This is a bit weird, but I'm gonna keep it like that. Let's see. Duat's the hardest of the easy tier. Yeah, I feel like that's fair. Or that's fair. Yeah, I think I like that. Because this is where you're starting your run. Ropes could soft lock you from getting Kapala, blah blah blah. Which doesn't kill your run, but it does suck. The only reason why this is harder than Ice Caves is because your run is starting here. And you aren't as like, oh, I want to live really badly as you are in ice caves. Does that make any sense? Sure. Olmec is the hardest out of these. Abzu is right there. Sure. I think I'm gonna keep this list. What do you guys think about the list? Golden City's in a really weird I mean, look at Temple and then look at Golden City. They're kind of the same level, except Golden City has way more open areas. By the time you get to Golden City, you probably have either landscape or jetpack or something. Oh. And it being so open is kind of nice. You like the top half? Yeah, top half is probably pretty typical. Bottom half, I don't think is very typical. It's interesting that the easy clap areas are areas that are pretty much the same every time you go there. So that's consistent. Duat is the same, but it can be difficult. This is the same, but Crocman, cats, yeah. There are no cats here, are there? I'm pretty sure there isn't any cats here, other than the one cat that like runs at you and has the face of a Crocman. I think I'm gonna keep this list. It's decent. I think you're a good player, so you underestimate the difficulty. So, well, this is my list. This is what it is in my head. Like, if I get to Duat, I'm like, oh, thank God the temple's over. Like, I don't get to Duat and be like, oh, okay, time to focus. Like, I'm like, okay, I could kind of unfocus a little bit because I don't have to deal with cats. You know, all that garbage Crocman. Which I think Crocman do spawn at Duat, actually, but they're usually out of the way. Getting up to Osiris is not a big deal, and then even Osiris himself is not a big deal. Osiris is harder than Kingu, in my opinion. But anyways, plus you lose the Ankh, you know. But I'm not considering losing Ankh and all that stuff. I'm just considering the area specifically when I get there. Okay, well, I think that's gonna conclude the list. I'm gonna save this. Save and download. Download. Definitely not what everyone's list is gonna look like, but everyone plays differently, right?